The Out of Bounds Show is live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge in the Bank Plus studio.
Check it out.
Good morning. Welcome in. The Out of Bounds Show is driven by the Ram trucks and Jeep Grand Cherokees at Mac Hike in Flowood. Visit MacHikeFlowood.com. Our guests join us on the Bucked Up Energy Drinks guest line. And we welcome in our friend from Brandon, Mississippi, all-pro linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. He is Demario Davis. Demario, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Man, we are doing great. Well, other than Sean Payton retiring, we're doing great. That hit our listeners pretty hard. Where were you when you found out Sean was retiring, Demario?
I actually found out the day before. I had pulled up to the facility and I caught him going in the building and was just asking what was going on with him, and he let me know that he had planned on retiring. And so I kind of found out about 24 hours before the rest of the world. And, it caught me by a little bit by surprise, but, I understood where he was coming from. And so it was, it's been a week.
What's it been like? I know you interact and engage with Dennis Allen all the time and your position coach and so on. And Dennis is phenomenal. But Sean Payton is a great coach, and y'all had great success. And you even told us, I don't know, a year or so ago, what it was like to play for the Jets and the Browns, and that those are not winning franchises. But you can tell all these players tweeting at Sean that even though he was super hard on y'all, that he was a player's coach. What was it like to interact with him? You're one of the leaders on the team and play for him, Demario.
Well, I think, even when you hear about like a coach being hard on players, he knows how hard it is to win. It's unbelievably hard to win in the National Football League. And so you have to have a coach that's going to push and pull everything that's required out of you. And he knows how to do it. But he does it in a way that doesn't come across as a jerk or, a butthole or anything like that. He does it in a way that you appreciate the type of drive and passion that he comes with every day and that he brings to the team. And that just kind of energizes the culture. I think it becomes a mutual respect because they bring certain type of guys in the building that want that. And so it's not countercultural. It's all going towards the same desires at the end of the day, and that's winning. And that's why the team has had so much success over the past, especially the past 4 or 5 years.
Sure.
And he's the driving force behind that. And I think that's what you see when you see all those messages and players, that they appreciate that, understanding that, you need a coach that can inspire, that can motivate, that can drive you in that type of way, that takes you, farther than you probably would have been if you didn't have that.
He is one of the leaders of Who Dat Nation, Demario Davis, all-pro linebacker. He's joining us on the Out of Bounds Show and the Bucked Up Energy Drinks guest line. Demario's coach retires this week. We'll see if it's Dennis Allen or someone else. Obviously, Dennis Allen has been an unbelievable defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. So, Demario, Sean has talked about you, and you're one of the leaders on the team. You've been one of the leaders, and yet you haven't played your whole career there. How long did it take you to kind of cultivate a good or close relationship with Sean?
I think that was mutual respect from the time that I walked in the building, especially on my side. I think after the first year, I think he knew he was getting a good player. I don't think he knew exactly what type of player, how good of a player that he was getting, just in everything that I brought, not just on the field but outside in the locker room, et cetera. But it was growing over time, and it never hit any roadblocks. I think I know as a player, I wouldn't have been able to get to the level of play that I was able to get to without the type of culture that Sean had developed. It was a mixture of going against, Alvin Kamara every day. It was going against Mike Thomas every day, going against Drew Brees every day, and then competing with guys on my side like Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, and the likes. And so I think when you're in that these are Hall of Fame, All-Pro caliber players and coaches, and going against Sean's mind every day at practice, that grew both of us in a way because, I was able to help drive the defense to a different level, and it really became a competition. I remember a lot of days it was me versus Drew, DA versus Sean. It's a whole mental competition battle that's going on that's making them better and us better. And I think just over time, that there's growth, this deep appreciation. I was selected captain my first year there, and so I think from a leadership standpoint, I think it showed, very early on. But when you have that much success, and you have all the ups and downs that we had in the journey, it just naturally breeds a bond. And so I don't know exactly that length of time, but to know the bond that we have now, it's been great.
Demario Davis, star linebacker for the Saints on the Out of Bounds show. When you were named captain in year one, what did that mean to you?
It meant everything. For me, everything that I do is about the respect of my teammates, the respect of the coaches, the respect of my peers across the league, because Tom Brady just does a documentary called Man in the Arena, and that's who matters the most, is the men in the arena that know what's taking place every day. Everybody else is kind of left to speculation. And so the respect of the ones that are there, it means everything. And so that's all player selected. And so I wasn't, very talkative when I came in, because there were so many leaders. You had Drew Brees, Teron Armstead, Cam Jordan, and guys that had been there and had been the staples of the organization. So it really wasn't a need for me to just be dominant in leadership or very vocal. It was for me to come in, learn the culture, and just gel with the guys. And in doing that, it just became a mutual respect that ended up happening. And the team voted me as captain. And I was a little bit surprised, I think, in year one. But it was a tremendous honor. I didn't take it lightly. And, we had a good year. I think that was the NFC Conference Championship year. So, I was very appreciative to my teammates, but even more, I cherished that weight of responsibility that came with it.
He is Demario Davis on the Out of Bounds show, all-pro linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. Obviously been playing under Sean Payton the last few years, and Sean retires, but well-respected by the players. And I think it's been cool all week how many have tweeted or Instagram to Sean and told him how much they appreciated playing for him. The Saints have had several great seasons in a row, and as Demario said, it's extremely difficult to win in this league. So when dealing with Sean, what is Sean like when you run into him outside of the season compared to when you report around July 20th or whenever that is, Demario?
Sean's just one of the guys. He's laid back. Sean's a traveler. He has places in a lot of different locations. He's a jokester. He likes telling stories and laughing and kicking back. And he's a great storyteller. And so he's been through so much. So you have all these stories that you sit around and you just kind of reeling off these stories back to back to back. But that's him. He's just one of the guys that's competitive always. Just hang back laughing. If I was to go and see Sean somewhere now and be hanging for an hour, we're gonna be talking and laughing for an hour, and then we'll go our separate ways. That's type of personality is.
Demario Davis on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. So it sounds to me it looks like it from afar, but we don't know him like you do. It sounds to me like you feel like with his personality, he could be really good on TV, right?
Oh yeah, Sean gonna be great on TV. He's gonna be great on TV. That's right up his alley. That's right up his alley. I mean, he's a great storyteller, great communicator. That's gonna be an easy transition for him. And then especially when we're out to football, he knows so much about the game. He's probably one of the best probably predictors or forecasters that I've ever come across, just because of his understanding of numbers, percentages, and his experience with history. So he can line up 10 seasons up from the past and kind of predict how that's going to play out going forward. And I think he has just such a deep appreciation for the NFL, the history of it, all the players and actors in it. And it just makes him a great communicator. And when he kind of calls games, I guess all the analysts kind of predict the games to win. I bet he's going to have a very high percentage of who's the winners of those games.
Demario Davis on the Out of Bounds show and the Bucked Up Energy Drinks guest line. What is Cam Jordan like as a teammate, practice, locker room, game day teammate?
It's kind of two different sides. They, as far as on the game field, there's nobody you want to go in the battle with more. As far as a defensive end, he's a complete package. You don't have many of those. He's amazing against the run. He's even better against the pass. And it's a Hall of Famer, hands down. Definitely one of the best Saints that ever walk in the building. And so, as far as a defensive player, I don't think I've played with, besides Ed Reed, I don't know if I've played, Ed Reed, Darrell Reeves, I don't know if I've played with a better player. When you look at him from a locker room, Cam's a jokester all day long. He is never serious, ever. I mean, he is a jokester. He's loud. He's I guess how you say it, humbly obnoxious. I mean, he's a great guy to be around. You're never gonna be able to have a bad day around Cam. You're gonna make sure you're smiling and laughing, because he's never gonna take something too serious. And him and his wife, their kids, they hang with us quite a bit. We used to go out on date night together when COVID slowed us down a little bit, but we go to different places. Our kids hang out. He's a good dude.
So, Demario Davis on the Out of Bounds show, all-pro Saints linebacker, was named a captain in his first year, and that's big time. And a great guy, having a great career with the Saints. So, Demario, you've taken care of yourself. You played great football the last few years. You're playing at the highest level. You're in your 30s. You're in great shape. What does the future look like for Demario Davis?
Oh man, that's only time will tell, and that's in the hands of the Lord. My faith is what prevails me, and it's brought me this far, and it'll continue to take me. I always say at this point, like I'm on a 1-year contract with God. When He says time is time, but every year it seems like I keep finding a different edge and growth potential, and so I'm gonna keep going as long as I'm on the rise. And so I think it's as I do every year, I kind of continue to train all the way through the Super Bowl, and after the Super Bowl is over, I kind of revisit the year, go back through the entire season, kind of mark out what my goals are for the year, draw up my contract. As far as my contract with training for myself, and then lock in and get ready for another year. And so I think that's what my mindset is. I haven't even reviewed the year yet. I'm still just training all the way through the Super Bowl, and then I'll sit down, iron it out, and figure out what the plan and vision is in terms of my career, where I want to go from here. And then I'll go full speed just like every other year. And so once the season is over, I usually transition into from player to coach. Have a youth training team, and so I'm enjoying coaching them right now and getting ready for that season.
Let's talk about that. Demario Davis on the Out of Bounds Show. Tell our listeners about 7v7 Elite sports team that you're founder and part of, Demario.
Oh, yeah. So our foundation, 3 years ago, we launched a 7v7 travel team. I've always had a heart and passion for Mississippi and especially the inner city kids in Mississippi, being able to reach them and give them, outlets and access to resources to help them, achieve their goals. And so that was the heart and vision behind our launch, and we've had tremendous success, way more than I ever imagined. So we graduated 30 kids over the past 2 years. All 30 of our kids went to school on scholarship, 17 of which playing Division I. We also got another class coming up this year, and it seems like we already got about 3 or 4 guys going D1 with that group, and another a few going JUCO. So we just had tremendous success, and that's the goal of our program is not just to take these kids to Texas, Florida, Atlanta, Tennessee, all these different places we get a chance to go and play against the top players in the nation. But ultimately the goal is to get them to college, help them, just if we can be one step of the process and help them reach their dream, then we're better and they're better for it. And so definitely excited. This year is our first year of having, we've always had an 18 and under team, which is just pretty much the high school, but now we're all the way down at the middle school level. So we have a 12 and under team.
Nice.
A 14 and under team, 15 and under team, and 18 under. So it's kind of like what you see in the school system. So we have a 7th and 8th grade team, we have a 9th grade team, and we have a high school team. And so definitely excited about that, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got an all-star roster, and we got our first practice weekend this weekend up at SPI in Madison. So looking forward to that.
Man, that's great. All-pro linebacker with the New Orleans Saints. Great guy, too. Demario Davis on the Out of Bounds Show and ESPN 105. Demario, thanks so much for your time. Hope your family's doing well, and look forward to watching you in the black and gold again in 2022.
Thank you, Bo. Be blessed, man. You guys take care.
Take care. Great guy. Demario Davis, unbelievable career, all-pro linebacker with the New Orleans Saints, and obviously close to Sean Payton and Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator, who may be the next head coach in New Orleans. Demario joined us on the Bucked Up Energy, and great things both off the field and on the field. And super family man, too. Blake, it's so funny when he walked in here a couple of years ago, he's in such great shape that his size kind of tricks you when he's 10, 15 feet away from you. And then you get close to him and you realize, obviously he's chiseled,
yes,
but how big he is.
Yes.
But he almost looks like a big wide receiver.
You think
okay? It's incredible.
Yeah, you think hulking linebacker because it's the NFL, and so you think, oh, a big middle linebacker, he must be this like hulking like mammoth tree trunk, but he's big, but like you said, he wears it well, and it's deceptive, and
he looks like he's got a 29-inch waist, 30-inch waist.
He's not this big guy, you think.
And then it's just a V that goes up. He's a 3-time All-Pro linebacker. He had to go through the Browns and the Jets, and I didn't want to ask him questions where he had to throw them under the bus. But he had Mickey Loomis in that front office targeted him, right? They saw something. They bring him in. He and Sean Payton and Dennis Allen hit it off, and he's named a captain in his first year.
Which doesn't happen, yeah.
That does not happen. Yeah. And then from there on, he's been all-pro, all-pro, all-pro. And he's 33 years old playing like he's 26.
There you go.
Which kudos to him. Now, the way these guys take care of themselves, and this guy takes care of himself. He can squeeze another year or two out. He would be great in the media, too.
Yeah. Although it sounds
sharp,
like he's got
articulate.
Sounds like he's got passion for coaching, so that's a good thing, too.
But maybe a few NFL Network hits coming in the near future. Who knows? And what about his respect for Sean Payton? both a player's coach, but also extremely demanding. But when you set the tone and you've been winning, what happens? Players gravitate to that, right? You've already set the standard.
Well, you know what it reminded me of? When Tanner Allen said, talking about Chris Lemonis, he was like, oh, he's a great players coach, but if you ever hear anything bad, it's because that person didn't meet the standard and expectation he held. I think Sean Payton's the same way. All the players who worked hard and met the standard love Sean Payton, and the people who were not accountable don't like him. But I think that's the type of coach that has that success, the ability to transition from we can be friendly. We're not going to be best friends. That's not how it works. Right. It's a business. But we can be friendly and have a good relationship outside of just football as long as you're giving me 150% when it comes to football.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then you can have that good relationship. If you can't do that, the Saints, other guys like that, Belichick, they don't have time for you. They're just going to move on.
That's true. You know, we always talk about Drew and Kamara and all those, and even over the past few years, the Marcus Colston.
Yeah.
You forget that D has been led by some great guys like Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Lattimore, among others.
Well, Drew Brees owes the last 4 years of his career to that defense.
Yeah.
Because
and Dennis Allen's done a great job.
It would have been a lot rockier transition out of Drew Brees than if they had not had that defense.
I say it all the time. I never thought this franchise would win at the level it has won the last 16 years and lived in the playoffs, played in big games, won big games, obviously the Super Bowl and the Lombardi Trophy, but many other huge playoff games, winning divisions, and making the Dome one of the best places to. I never thought that I would go to that many Saints games the last 15 years and enjoy it and be blown away by, one, the level of play, and two, the atmosphere.
Let me ask you this question. 9 trips to the playoffs in 16 years. In the next 16, over, under 6.5?
Under 9.
6.5.
Probably under, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to find examples.
It's hard to win. The Giants can't even get to the playoffs.
No, they've had 5 straight losing seasons.
You think about these revered franchises and what some of them are doing.
And
right?
the Saints are not that. So it's going to be interesting to see.
But now, if you bottle, there are so many quarterbacks today. And there's so many coming. And with all the college tendencies and so on that are now within the NFL, if you hit on a guy, you can turn it around like that. But as you know, Blake, you got to have a quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Now, could Dennis Allen? I mean, boy, those are big shoes to fill. He was fired by the Blake. He was fired by the 49ers.
49ers, yeah.
As a head coach.
For some reason in my head I was saying Raiders,
maybe
but I don't
that
think
was
that's
it.
right.
Maybe somewhere out west. And then Sean was smart enough to bring him in. What, he fired Rob Ryan? Like literally that day and brought in Dennis Allen. And Dennis Allen has been amazing on that side of the football for Sean Payton. Now, granted, Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland have, given them the players that they need also to be successful. The Out of Bounds Show was brought to you by Superior Foundation for all your foundation repairs. Also driven by the unbelievable selection of pre-owned SUVs and trucks at Mac Hike in Flowood, and that's MacHikeFlowwood.com.